Welcome to week 3 of our Purposeful Living program. And this week we are going to be dealing with considerations, fears, and roadblocks. It's very important because it links to our goals. And it's important to understand that as soon as you set a goal, 3 things are going to emerge that stop most people, but they won't stop you because you know they're going to emerge now. So if you know that these 3 things are part of the process, then you can treat them as what they are, just things to handle rather than letting them stop you. So what we are going to look at is considerations, fears, roadblocks, dealing with what ifs, and next week, what we're going to handle next week. So let's take a look at considerations. Now, considerations are thoughts that we have to deal with, and they are very subtle, but they're also the reason why we stop. So if you think about it, as soon as you say you want to, for instance, double your income next year, within moments, considerations such as I'll have to work twice as hard, or I won't have time for my family, or my wife's going to kill me, begin to emerge. You might have thoughts such as my territory is maxed out if you're a salesperson, or I can't see how I could possibly get the buyers on my current route to buy any more products from me. If you say you're going to, for instance, run a marathon, you might hear a voice in your head say you could get hurt, or you'll have to get up 2 hours earlier every day. It might even suggest that you're too old to start running. Now, these thoughts are called considerations. They are all the reasons why you shouldn't attempt the goal, all the reasons why it is impossible. But surfacing these considerations is a good thing. They are how you have been subconsciously stopping yourself all along. Now that you have brought them into conscious awareness, you can deal with them, confront them, and move past them. Then when it comes to fears, now fears on the other hand are about feelings. Now you may experience a fear of rejection, a fear of failure, or a fear of making a fool of yourself. You might be afraid of getting physically or emotionally hurt. You might be afraid that you will lose all the money you have already saved. And these fears are not unusual. They are just part of the process. I found this little acronym quite cool for fear, is fear standing for false evidence appearing real. So it's not something you have experienced. It just stops you in your path so that you don't go forward. Roadblocks, and this is also something we need to become aware of, these are purely external circumstances. They're well beyond just thoughts and feelings in your head. A roadblock may be that nobody wants to join you on your project, or it might be that you don't have all the money you need to move forward. Perhaps you need other investors. Roadblocks might be that your government, for instance, has rules or laws that prohibit what you want to do. Maybe you need a petition, but there is always something to do about roadblocks. Once we know what these are, and that's the important part here, then it's easier to go forward. Here is a little trick that we can use, or a strategy that you can use when you are dealing, for instance, with a fear. So let's say you've got a brand new idea and you are sure that it's going to fail. So you go through a process of problem solving, and it's called the 5 whys. And I've given you an example here. So you ask yourself why, and eventually you remove the fear by actually convincing yourself that it's not such an obstacle to overcome. Also, there is the what if game. Now, the what if game you can apply to fears, obstacles, and also to considerations. So I've given you an example here. I failed the exam. So what if I fail the exam? I will ask for a rewrite. What if I don't get a rewrite? I will find out when the next registration is. What if I don't have the money to pay for re-registration? It will take longer, and I will have to look at curbing my my spending. And you can, but we are continuously blocked on going forward because we're afraid of failing and we just stop. So the whole idea about all of these roadblocks, considerations, and fears is that you need to write them down so that they're not intimidating, so that they don't take up mind space anymore. Once you put them in front of you, they are less of a distraction, and it's more likely that you will carry on with what you want to do. So we will meet again on Sunday via Zoom, and that will be our accountability meeting. What I would like you to do is spend this week, besides the other two principles that we are applying, that's your goal setting and also the mirror principle, I would like you to please start looking and writing down the obstacles that you find in your way. So we're looking at considerations, fears, and roadblocks. What's next in the program is Success Leaves Clues and how to actually look for those clues and find those clues. Thanks again for joining me. If you have climbed on this program a little bit later than the rest of us, that's perfectly fine. You can catch up. It's just important that you start right at the beginning. Also, if you have any questions, drop me an email or send me a DM on Twitter. And have an amazing week, and I look forward to chatting to you on Sunday.